Put on the dress, Marcus Cole said, his voice cold as ice. Zara looked at the wedding gown in his hands, then back at his face. She was just the maid. She had scrubbed his floors for 3 years, and now he wanted her to become his wife before the sun came up. "Sir, I don't understand." "You don't need to understand," he cut her off. "You just need to do what I say. Or your mother's hospital bills. They disappear, along with her treatment." Zara Williams had seen a lot of crazy things working in the Cole mansion. She had seen business deals worth millions happen over breakfast. She had seen famous people walk through the front door like it was nothing. She had seen enough diamonds and gold to fill a small bank. But she had never seen anything like what she saw on the night of Marcus Cole's wedding. It started like any other big event at the mansion. The place was full of flowers, white roses everywhere. The smell was so strong it made Zara's head hurt a little. She moved through the halls in her black uniform, trying to stay out of the way. The guests were all rich. The women wore dresses that cost more than Zara made in a year. The men looked bored, like they had seen it all before. Marcus Cole stood at the front of the grand hall. He was tall, dark-skinned, and handsome, in that way that made women stare. His suit probably cost $50,000, maybe more. Zara had ironed that suit herself that morning. She knew every thread on it. His bride, Vanessa, was supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the room. And she was. Light brown skin, long hair that fell down her back like water, and a dress that looked like it was made of clouds. Zara had helped her get ready earlier. Vanessa had barely looked at her, just snapped her fingers when she needed something. The ceremony was short. Rich people didn't waste time with long speeches. The minister said the words. Marcus said, "I do." Vanessa said, "I do." And just like that, they were married. Everyone clapped. Champagne flowed. The music started. Zara was in the kitchen when things went wrong. She was helping load dirty plates into the sink when she heard shouting. Not normal party shouting. This was different. This was angry. She peeked through the door that led to the main hallway. Marcus was standing there, his phone pressed to his ear. His face had changed. The calm, cool look was gone. Now he looked like a man who wanted to break something. "What do you mean she's gone?" he said into the phone. His voice was low, but Zara could hear every word. "Find her, now!" He hung up and threw the phone against the wall. It shattered into pieces. Zara jumped back, her heart racing. She had never seen him lose control like that. In 3 years, Marcus Cole had always been the calmest person in any room. Cold even, like nothing could touch him. But something had touched him tonight. The next hour was chaos. Guests were sent home early. The staff was told to clean up and leave. But Zara stayed. She always stayed late. She needed the extra hours. Her mother's hospital bills weren't going to pay themselves. She was mopping the floor in the back hallway when Marcus found her. She didn't hear him coming. 1 second she was alone. The next, he was standing right behind her. She almost screamed. "You!" he said. "Zara, right." She nodded, too scared to speak. In 3 years, he had never said her name. She didn't even know he knew it. "Come with me." It wasn't a request. It was an order. Zara left her mop and followed him. They walked through the empty mansion, past the ruined wedding decorations, past the champagne glasses that still needed to be cleaned. He led her to his office on the 2nd floor. The office was big, dark wood everywhere. Books that looked like no one had ever read them. A desk that was bigger than Zara's bedroom back home. Marcus sat down in his leather chair and looked at her like she was a problem he needed to solve. "My wife left me," he said, just like that, no emotion in his voice. 2 hours after the wedding, she took $10 million from my account and ran off with my business partner. Zara didn't know what to say. I'm sorry, sir. Don't be sorry, be useful. He opened a drawer and pulled out some papers. I need a wife, tonight, before the news gets out. Zara blinked. Sir? There's a deal, a big one, the biggest of my life. The man I'm working with, Mr. Patterson, he's old school. He doesn't do business with single men, says they can't be trusted. He wants to meet my wife tomorrow at breakfast. If he finds out Vanessa left, the deal dies. I lose everything. Zara still didn't understand why he was telling her this. That's terrible, sir. But I don't see how I can... You can pretend to be her. The words hit Zara like a truck. She actually stepped back. What? Marcus stood up and walked toward her. He was so tall, so close. She could smell his cologne. It probably cost more than her rent. You're the same height as Vanessa, same skin tone, more or less. Put on some makeup, wear her clothes, keep your mouth shut. Patterson won't know the difference. He only met her once, at the engagement party. He's half blind anyway. Sir, I can't. This is crazy. Your mother is at St. Mary's Hospital, Marcus said. His voice was calm again, that cold calm that made Zara's blood freeze. Stage 3 cancer. The treatment she's getting costs $15,000 a month. You make $2,000. How long do you think you can keep paying? Zara felt tears burn her eyes. How do you know about my mother? I know everything about everyone who works for me. He went back to his desk and pulled out a white dress, the wedding dress. Vanessa had left it behind. Put this on, play the part for 1 month, just until the deal is done, and I'll pay for your mother's treatment, all of it, plus $1 million for you when it's over. Zara's hands were shaking. $1 million. Her mother's treatment. It was everything she had ever wanted. But this was wrong. So wrong. And if I say no? She whispered. Marcus smiled, but it wasn't a nice smile. Then you're fired, tonight, and good luck finding another job when I make sure no one in this city will hire you. Zara looked at the dress, then at Marcus, then at the window, where she could see the city lights far below. Somewhere out there, her mother was lying in a hospital bed, fighting for her life. She had no choice. She never had a choice. Fine, she said. I'll do it. Marcus handed her the dress. Good, now hurry. We have a lot of work to do before morning. As Zara took the dress with trembling hands, she had no idea that this one decision would change her life forever. She was about to enter a world she didn't understand, a world of lies, secrets, and danger, and somewhere in that world, something was waiting for her, something she never expected. But that night, all she could think about was her mother, and survival. That was the night Zara Williams died, and Mrs. Marcus Cole was born. The wedding dress didn't fit right. It was too tight around Zara's chest, and too loose at the waist. Vanessa was skinnier than her, more delicate, like a bird. Zara felt like she was stuffing herself into someone else's skin. Stop moving, said the woman in front of her. Her name was Gloria. She was Marcus's personal assistant, 50 years old, gray hair pulled back tight, and a face that looked like it had never smiled. She had pins in her mouth and was trying to fix the dress. If you keep fidgeting, I'll stick you. Sorry, Zara whispered. She looked at herself in the mirror. The dress was beautiful, pure white silk, with tiny diamonds sewn into the fabric. It must have cost $100,000, maybe more. And here she was, a maid who made $12 an hour, wearing it like she belonged in it. She didn't belong in it. She didn't belong anywhere near this world. It was 4 a.m. In 5 hours, she would have to sit across from Mr. Patterson and pretend to be Marcus Cole's wife. The thought made her want to throw up. Arms up, Gloria said. Zara obeyed. More pins, more adjustments. You're lucky you're pretty. That's the only reason this might work. Zara didn't feel lucky, she felt trapped, like an animal in a cage that was getting smaller by the minute. The door opened. Marcus walked in without knocking. He had changed out of his wedding suit into a simple black shirt and pants. He looked tired, but his eyes were still sharp, still cold. "How's it going?" he asked Gloria. "She'll pass, barely." Gloria stepped back to look at her work. "The dress fits now, but we need to do something about her hair, and her nails, and the way she walks. She moves like a servant." "I am a servant," Zara said before she could stop herself. Marcus looked at her, really looked at her. For a moment something flickered in his eyes, something that might have been respect, or maybe she imagined it. "Not anymore," he said. "From this moment on, you're Vanessa Cole. You grew up in Atlanta, your father was a doctor, your mother was a teacher, you went to Spelman College, you like classical music, French wine, and you hate seafood. Got it?" Zara's head was spinning. "I don't know anything about classical music, or French wine. I've never even been to Atlanta." "Then keep your mouth shut and let me do the talking." Marcus walked closer. He was so tall that Zara had to tilt her head back to look at him. "Patterson is old. He's traditional. He believes a wife should be quiet and supportive. Smile when I smile, nod when I talk. That's all you have to do." "For a month?" "For however long it takes." Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. Inside was a ring, a diamond so big it looked fake. "This was Vanessa's, now it's yours." He took her hand. His fingers were warm against her skin. For a second, Zara forgot to breathe. He slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. "There," he said. "Now you're my wife." The words sent a chill down Zara's spine. This was really happening. She was really doing this. "What if someone recognizes me?" she asked. "I've worked here for 3 years. People have seen me." "The staff who knew you have been sent away, paid off. They won't talk." Marcus let go of her hand. "New staff will arrive tomorrow. They'll only know you as Mrs. Cole. As far as the world is concerned, Zara Williams doesn't exist anymore." Zara Williams doesn't exist anymore. The words hit her hard. She thought about her mother, lying in that hospital bed. Did she even know what her daughter was about to do? Would she understand? Would she forgive her? "I need to see my mother," Zara said suddenly. "Before this starts, I need to tell her." "No." Marcus's voice was firm. "You can't see anyone from your old life, not until this is over. It's too risky." "She's dying." Zara's voice cracked. Tears burned her eyes. "She's my mother. I can't just disappear without—" "You can, and you will." Marcus's face didn't change. No sympathy, no understanding, just cold, hard business. "I've already arranged for her to be moved to a private room. The best doctors in the city are on her case now. She'll get better care than she ever dreamed of. But you cannot see her, not in person. You can write letters. I'll make sure she gets them." Letters. Her mother was fighting for her life, and all Zara could give her was letters. "You're a monster," Zara whispered. Marcus smiled, that cold, empty smile that made her skin crawl. "I'm a businessman. There's a difference." He turned to leave, then stopped at the door. "Get some sleep. Tomorrow is going to be a long day. And Zara." He looked back at her. "Don't think about running. I have people watching. You won't get far, and if you try, your mother's treatment stops. Immediately." He left. The door closed behind him with a soft click. But to Zara, it sounded like a prison cell slamming shut. Gloria finished her work in silence. She showed Zara to a bedroom on the 3rd floor, not the servants' quarters in the basement where she used to sleep. This was a guest room, big bed, soft sheets, a bathroom with a tub the size of a small pool. "Your new clothes are in the closet," Gloria said. "Designer stuff. Try not to spill anything on them." She paused at the door. For what it's worth, I'm sorry, this isn't right. But Mr. Cole, when he wants something, he gets it. There's no stopping him. Then she was gone too. Zara sat on the bed. The wedding dress was heavy on her body. The ring was cold on her finger. She looked around the beautiful room and felt more alone than she had ever felt in her life. She thought about running, just getting up and walking out the door. But where would she go? She had no money, no family except her mother, and Marcus had made it clear, if she ran, her mother would pay the price. She was trapped, completely and totally trapped. Zara lay back on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Somewhere in this house, Marcus Cole was probably sleeping peacefully. He had solved his problem. He had found his fake wife. Tomorrow he would close his deal and make his millions. And Zara? She would smile and nod and pretend to be someone she wasn't. She would live a lie every single day. But as she closed her eyes, one thought kept running through her mind. 1 month. She just had to survive 1 month. Then she would take the money, save her mother, and disappear. She would never see Marcus Cole again. That was the plan. But plans have a funny way of falling apart, and Zara had no idea what was waiting for her when the sun came up. She finally fell asleep as the first light of dawn crept through the window. In her dreams, she was still a maid, still invisible, still free. When she woke up, she would be someone else entirely. Mr. Patterson was not what Zara expected. She had pictured a mean old man with cold eyes and an expensive suit. Instead, he looked like somebody's grandfather. Round face, warm smile, white hair that stuck up in funny places. He walked into the dining room with a cane and immediately started talking about the weather. "Beautiful morning, isn't it?" he said, settling into his chair across from Zara. "Nothing like sunshine to start the day right." Zara smiled and nodded. That's what Marcus had told her to do. Smile and nod. Don't talk unless someone asks you a direct question. She could do this. She had to do this. Marcus sat beside her. His hand found hers under the table and squeezed. To anyone watching, it looked like love. But Zara felt the warning in his grip. Don't mess this up. "So this is the lovely bride." Mr. Patterson beamed at her. "My dear, you're even more beautiful than I remembered. Marcus is a lucky man." "Thank you," Zara said softly. Her voice came out strange, too high, too nervous. She cleared her throat. "That's very kind of you to say." "She's shy," Marcus said smoothly. "One of the things I love about her, in a world full of people who talk too much, Vanessa knows the value of silence." Mr. Patterson laughed. "Smart woman. My wife was the same way. God rest her soul." He picked up his menu. "Now what's good here? I'm starving." The breakfast went better than Zara expected. Mr. Patterson did most of the talking. He told stories about his late wife, his grandchildren, his dog named Biscuit. Marcus laughed at all the right moments. He touched Zara's shoulder, her hand, her back. Every touch felt like fire on her skin. She hated how aware she was of him. She hated that her heart jumped every time their eyes met. This man had trapped her, threatened her, taken away her freedom. She should hate everything about him. But when he looked at her with those dark eyes, something inside her twisted, something she didn't want to name. "Tell me, Vanessa," Mr. Patterson said suddenly. "How did you two meet?" Zara froze. Marcus hadn't told her this part. She didn't know what to say. "It's a funny story," Marcus jumped in. "She was at a charity event. I saw her across the room and knew I had to talk to her, but she turned me down. 3 times. Mr. Patterson's eyes widened. 3 times! No woman has ever turned down Marcus Cole. This one did. Marcus looked at Zara with something that almost looked real. She made me work for it, made me prove I was serious. That's when I knew she was different. Zara felt heat rise to her cheeks. It was all lies, every word. But the way he was looking at her made it hard to remember that. I like a woman with standards, Mr. Patterson said approvingly. You hold on to this one, Marcus. She's special. After breakfast, Mr. Patterson left with promises to call his lawyers. The deal was moving forward. Marcus had won. As soon as the old man was gone, Zara let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. You did well, Marcus said. It was the closest thing to a compliment he had ever given her. I almost ruined it, Zara admitted. I didn't know what to say when he asked how we met. I'll give you a file tonight, everything you need to know about our fake relationship. Memorize it. Marcus stood up and buttoned his jacket. We have a dinner party tomorrow. More people to convince. The real test is just beginning. The next few weeks were a blur. Zara attended parties, dinners, charity events. She met Marcus's business partners, his competitors, his so-called friends. None of them seemed real. They all smiled too much and said too little. They asked questions that weren't really questions. They watched each other like hawks looking for weakness. Zara learned to play the game. She learned which fork to use at fancy dinners. She learned how to make small talk about art and politics, and things she didn't care about. She learned to laugh at jokes that weren't funny, and compliment dresses that were ugly. But the hardest part was Marcus himself. In public, he was the perfect husband. Attentive, charming, always touching her in small ways that made people believe they were in love. But in private, he barely looked at her. They lived in the same house, but existed in different worlds. He worked late every night. She wandered the empty mansion alone. One night, about 3 weeks into their arrangement, Zara couldn't sleep. She went downstairs to get water and found Marcus in the kitchen. He was sitting at the counter in the dark, a glass of whiskey in his hand. Can't sleep either, she asked. He looked up. For once, the coldness was gone from his face. He just looked tired, human. Too much on my mind. Zara got her water and turned to leave, but something made her stop. Can I ask you something? You can ask. Doesn't mean I'll answer. Why did Vanessa leave? The question hung in the air. Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then he laughed, a bitter, broken sound that made Zara's chest ache. Because I'm not the man she wanted me to be, he said finally. I work too much. I feel too little. She said being married to me was like being married to a machine. He took another drink. Maybe she was right. Zara sat down across from him. She didn't know why. It was stupid, dangerous. But in that moment, he didn't look like the monster who had trapped her. He looked like a man who had been hurt. Badly. You're not a machine, she said quietly. Machines don't feel pain. And I can see it in your eyes. You're in pain. Marcus stared at her. The air between them shifted, became electric, heavy. His eyes dropped to her lips for just a second. Then he looked away. Go to bed, Zara. His voice was rough. And don't make the mistake of thinking you know me. You don't. She left, but as she walked back to her room, her heart was pounding. Something had changed tonight. Something dangerous. She was starting to see him as human. And that was the worst thing that could happen, because you can't hate someone once you start to understand them. And Zara was very, very afraid of what might take the place of her hate. Everything fell apart on a Tuesday. Zara remembered that because Tuesdays were supposed to be boring. Nothing ever happened on Tuesdays. But this Tuesday, her whole world exploded. It started with a phone call. Marcus was in his office, working like always. Zara was in the library, pretending to read a book she didn't understand. Then she heard him yell, actually yell. In 4 weeks, she had never heard him raise his voice like that. She ran to his office without thinking. The door was open. Marcus was standing behind his desk, his phone crushed in his fist. His face was twisted with rage. But underneath the rage, she saw something else. Fear. "What happened?" she asked. He looked at her like he had forgotten she existed. Then he laughed, that broken, bitter laugh she had heard in the kitchen that night. Vanessa happened. She sold her story to the press. Everything, the fake marriage, you, all of it. Zara's blood went cold. "What?" "It drops tomorrow morning. Front page of every newspaper in the country." Marcus threw his phone against the wall. This time, Zara didn't flinch. "She wants to destroy me, and she's going to succeed." Zara's mind was racing. If the story came out, what would happen to her? Would she go to jail? Would Marcus? What about her mother? "We have to do something," she said. "We have to stop it." "There's no stopping it. It's done." Marcus sank into his chair. He looked broken, defeated, like a man who had lost everything. "Patterson will pull out of the deal. My reputation will be ruined. Everything I've built for 15 years, gone." Zara walked toward him slowly. She didn't know why. Her body moved on its own. "There has to be something, some way to fix this." Marcus looked up at her. His eyes were red. Not from crying, he probably didn't know how to cry, but from exhaustion, from stress, from carrying a weight that was finally crushing him. "Why do you care?" he asked. "I trapped you, threatened you, took away your freedom. You should be happy to see me fall." Zara thought about that. A month ago, she would have been happy. She would have celebrated his destruction. But now, after spending every day with him, after seeing the man behind the monster, "I don't know," she admitted. "I should hate you. Part of me still does." But what?" She took a deep breath. "But I've seen you work 18 hours a day to build something. I've seen you donate millions to charity when no cameras were watching. I've seen you check on my mother's treatment every single day without telling me." She paused. "You're not a good man, Marcus, but you're not all bad either." Marcus stared at her. Something shifted in his face. The walls he always kept up started to crack. "How did you know about the charity? And your mother?" "Gloria told me. She said you made her promise not to say anything, but she thought I should know." Silence, heavy and thick. Marcus stood up and walked toward her. Each step felt like thunder in the quiet room. He stopped inches away from her, so close she could feel his breath on her skin. "I never meant to hurt you," he said quietly. "I know that doesn't make it right, but when Vanessa left, I panicked. I saw everything I had worked for slipping away. And you were there. You looked like her. I didn't think about what it would cost you. I only thought about myself." "I know," Zara whispered. "I'm sorry." The words sounded strange coming from him, like he had never said them before. "I'm sorry for all of it." Zara felt tears burn her eyes. "What happens now?" "Now? I let you go. Take the money. Go be with your mother. Forget any of this ever happened." He turned away from her. "I'll face the consequences alone. It's what I deserve." Zara should have left. She should have run out that door and never looked back. That was the smart thing to do, the safe thing, but she was tired of being smart, tired of being safe, tired of running from the feelings that had been growing inside her for weeks. "No," she said. Marcus turned back. "No? I'm not leaving, not like this." She stepped toward him. "When that story drops tomorrow, I'll be standing next to you. We'll face it together." "Why would you do that, after everything I've done?" Zara reached up and touched his face. His skin was warm under her fingers. He flinched like no one had touched him gently in years. Maybe no one had. "Because somewhere in the middle of all this mess, I started to care about you," she said. "I don't know when it happened. I don't know how. But I can't walk away now, not when you need someone. Marcus grabbed her hand, held it against his cheek. His eyes were shining now, not tears, but something close. You're either the bravest woman I've ever met or the craziest. Probably both. And then he kissed her, not a fake kiss for the cameras, not a show for business partners, a real kiss, desperate and gentle at the same time, like he was drowning and she was air. Zara kissed him back. She forgot about the scandal, forgot about the lies, forgot about everything except this moment, this man, this feeling that had been building since the night he put that ring on her finger. When they finally pulled apart, both of them were breathing hard. Whatever happens tomorrow, Marcus said, I want you to know something. Somewhere along the way, this stopped being fake for me. I don't know when. But you became more than a substitute. You became everything. Zara smiled, a real smile. Then let's show the world, not as a lie this time, as the truth. The next morning, the story dropped. Every news channel ran it. Billionaire Marcus Cole's fake wife scandal. The maid who became a bride. It was everywhere. But when Marcus walked out to face the press, Zara was beside him, not hiding, not pretending. She held his hand as he told the truth. All of it. He admitted his mistakes. He apologized. He said that what started as a desperate scheme had become something real. And then he did something no one expected. He got down on one knee, right there in front of 50 cameras, and asked Zara to marry him. For real this time, she said yes. The scandal didn't disappear. There were consequences. Marcus lost some deals, some friends. His reputation took a hit. But Patterson, that sweet old man, surprised everyone. He said he admired a man who could admit his mistakes and fight for love. The deal went through. 6 months later, Zara and Marcus had a second wedding. A real one. Her mother was there, cancer-free, crying happy tears in the front row. Gloria was there too, almost smiling. And as Zara walked down the aisle in a new white dress, one that fit her perfectly, she thought about how strange life could be. She had started as a maid, been forced to become a fake wife, and ended up finding real love in the last place she expected, the billionaire and the maid. It sounded like a fairy tale, but it was her life, her messy, complicated, beautiful life, and she wouldn't change a single thing.